Hello, hello, hello. Can anybody see me or hear me? Hi, Tom. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Demita. Okay. Hi, Elle. Hi, PJ. Hi, Kristen. Sherry, Brian. Thank you, Demita. I know I finally went back to natural and I was like, why have I not been doing this the whole time? Like, what is my problem? Lumpy lady, hi, thank you. Okay, so we are going to talk about the Libra full moon. I took some notes about what I was downloading. I had originally tried to do a normal video like I do for every full moon, and I just wasn't really feeling it. And I felt like I wanted to go live and actually talk about it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the compliments. So what's really interesting is this full moon is happening like right on my sun, basically, in Libra, so it's fun stuff. Okay, so we're gonna talk about the Libra full moon, and I'm also gonna give you some like journaling prompts, questions, and we're just really gonna get in the energy of this full moon, right? Like, what is this bringing up? What's going on, right? And how can we work with this full moon energy, basically, right? And then we're gonna go over each sign. But before we start, I'm like super, super excited, and I've been like wanting to announce this forever. I have officially announced my newest program, which is called Goddess Mode. It is a 3-month sacred container and gateway into the activation of your inner goddess and your feminine energy, feminine energetics. I went over basically what feminine energy is, the difference between feminine energy and masculine energy, why feminine energy is like the gateway, the portal to accessing and living from your soul, in my Power of She masterclass. And so that masterclass, I've shared it on my community page. You can now go and see it and watch it. So if you want to know more about all that, then I do recommend watching the masterclass first, because I really talk about how I've shifted so much, so drastically in such a short amount of time. Like, if you've been following me on Instagram and following my journey on there, I've been kind of sharing my own like goddess journey, and I kind of stumbled on it like not even meaning to. I didn't exactly realize that I was accessing my feminine energy. I just kept going inward and inward and inward and like shifting and shifting and shifting, and the next thing I knew, I was like, oh, this is feminine energy. And like, the more I was able to soften into my feminine, the more it was like my soul's voice could come through, the more I could hear what my soul actually had to say, and the more I could live my life from that place. And it's like fucking amazing, like magical, like it's like an awakening that keeps going. You know, it really is like, it's absolutely blissful. It is freaking amazing. And so I have basically been channeling a program from my own journey, from my own experiences, from everything that I've learned. And I also invested like over $2,000 in teachers and mentors and courses over like the last several months that have also kind of helped me and given me some tools like along the way. And so finally it was like, okay, like I've been like creating this program for months, and then I finally was like, okay, like it's time, it is ready to be launched. And the program is called Goddess Mode, and it is about being in your goddess, like being in goddess mode and really tapping into the divinity within you and tapping into that magic within you. And I'm offering it for a super low price right now. The price is going to rise though next week, and there are payment plans available. So if you're interested in that, I am going to link it down below when we get done. But I also have the Power of She Masterclass available, where you can really get into the vibe of feminine energy. And I give a lot of information there, a lot of things that you can start doing on your own, like even if you don't want to take the program, to really start embracing your feminine energy, like how it works and all of that. And so if this feels like, if you're feeling called to this, if you are feeling like, because really what I've learned is that the balance of masculine and feminine energy within us all is the key to fucking everything. Like literally the key to fucking everything. When you're in balance and aligned within your masculine and feminine energies, everything else flows because you are in harmony with yourself. You're in alignment with yourself. You're in your fucking power. You know who you are. You know you're the creator. You know you're the universe. Like there's no questions to be asked. There's no like lack. There's no like, you know, there's none of this other stuff that really can get in our way, agitation and frustration and just like all of these imbalances that we go through. And like ancient cultures used to have initiations for this sort of thing, and that's what I want goddess mode to be, like an initiation into the feminine. And it is only for women, this particular program, and that's just because we're going to be discussing, going over, and embodying and doing ceremonies for very intimate topics and intimate things, and diving into pleasure, sexuality, like tons of healing and stuff like that. And so I knew like a lot of women would feel more comfortable if it was just women. And so this program is just for women. So yeah, but that's basically what I wanted to announce really quick. I wanted to like officially announce it here on my YouTube channel. And then when we're done, I will link everything down below, but you can basically get it from my website. My website should be linked down below. If you go to my website, you go to programs, goddess mode is right there. And the price, like I said, will be going up next week. It will continue to rise. So if you want to get it at the current low price, honestly, this program is worth like a ton more, but I wanted people to have access to it that really felt drawn to it. And so I wanted more people to be able to access it. And so I started off with a low price. If I offer this program again, it will likely be like double or triple the price that it is right now. So it's fucking powerful, and it's everything that I've been really channeling and experiencing and journeying through for like the last several months. And so anyway, so let's get into the Libra full moon now that I got my little announcement out of the way. So the full moon is happening in the sign of Libra. And a full moon, as I always say, are when the sun and the moon are opposite of each other in the sky. So they're in opposite signs. So we have the sun in Aries and the moon in Libra. And Libra and Aries are opposite signs. Now, Aries is a fire sign ruled by Mars, and Libra is an air sign ruled by Venus. And so Venus and Mars signs are always opposite of each other in the sky. So like Taurus and Scorpio are opposite of each other. Those are Venus and Mars signs. And Libra and Aries are opposite of each other, Venus and Mars signs. So it's interesting because Venus deals with feminine energy and Mars deals with masculine energy. And so Libra and Aries are basically the axis of self and other. So Aries is the self, Aries is the individual, it is fiercely independent, it is, you know, singular, it is like, this is what I'm doing and that's it. And it's, you know, it's the ram. So it's like, head down, this is where I'm going, get out of my way, you know, like it's very action oriented and it goes very much based off its instincts. And so Libra, on the other hand, is a sign that is about balance and harmony. It's ruled by Venus, which is about peace and love and, you know, harmony and beauty and all the things. And so because of that reason, Venus also rules relationships. And so Libra can deal with relationships. And so where Aries is the sign of the self, Libra is the sign of others, right? And so we basically have self and other. Aries is about being true to you, being independent and being in your energy and embodying who you really are. And Libra is about, okay, wait, hold on, there's other people we have to consider here. And it's about understanding yourself through others, right? And so Libra is an energy that can a lot of the times mirror things back to us through other people. And a full moon happening in Libra is really exposing things, because the full moons really expose things and dig things up and allow things to unsurface, allow us to see things, right? And so a full moon happening in Libra speaks of, just on a very simple level, and we'll get deeper in a minute, but speaks of on a simple level, you know, things coming up or being exposed or being coming like out of the shadows to do with relationships, but also what relationships and what other people in our lives are mirroring things back to us, right? And so this could be a time where you really start seeing things being mirrored back to you from other people. Libra is the sign of the scale, so it's also about balance, fairness, being unbiased, right? Hi, Shandi. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm not trying to ignore you. I just don't want to get too off track here. So where are we out of balance or out of alignment within our own lives, right? And this could be different for different ones of you. It's not going to be the exact same imbalance in each and every one of us, but where are we out of balance with ourselves? If you see me looking over, I'm just looking at the notes that I took that kind of came through me for this Libra full moon. So wherever we're out of balance is going to be projected back to us externally, right? And so the people that we attract into our lives, the relationships that we have in our lives, the dynamics that we have in our lives, our connections, right? This is being reflected to us where we are out of balance. So I actually just made a post on Instagram the other day and Facebook. I've made a Facebook profile that I had for just Patreon public, and I'm posting there a lot more. I'm also posting on my business Facebook page. So if you have a Facebook, if you're more of a Facebook type of person instead of an Instagram type of person, then make sure to follow me on Facebook, Tawny Michelle. So I just posted the other day, and I was talking about how relationships, like the people in our lives, are a reflection and mirror things back to us, right? And so I'm trying to think of exactly what I said. For some reason, I'm having trouble remembering exactly what I had put in the post. So give me just 1 second. Let me find it really quick. So, okay. How you allow others to treat you is a reflection of how you treat yourself. And if I could put a phrase on this Libra full moon, it is exactly that. Because like I said, it is a balance, or it's the axis of self and other, right? Aries, the self, the individual, independence, like doing your own thing and charging forward, not worried about what anyone thinks about it, like you're just in your full on embodiment. And Libra is consideration of others, and well, hold on, what do other people think about this, and how can everybody have like a fair outcome in this situation? And so Libra, this full moon, is a reflection of ourselves. It is reflecting back to us and our energy, ourself, where we are not in alignment somewhere in our lives. For some people, it could be in their relationships. For some people, it could be in their family. For some people, it could be in their work. For some people, it could be with the people that they connect with the people that they have around, you know? It's gonna be a little bit different for different people. But I think that we are really kind of seeing where because like the last several weeks with with the sun traveling through Aries, it's been like action oriented, like acting before you think about it, and just do and charging forward, fast moving energy, gaining momentum, initiation, you know, taking all the action, doing all the things, self-focused, like, yeah. And we have this Libra full moon, like, okay, hold on, where are we not really in full alignment, whether with ourselves, a relationship, where's a relationship not in alignment with us, or where are we not seeing the other side or another person's perspective, or whatever the case may be. And so another big thing that could come up with this is letting go of unhealthy habits or attachments, which also full moons can deal with a lot, to opinions of others and external validation. So, and this is kind of like a theme I've been noticing, is like external validation. How much of what we do is for the minds of others that we have no control over? And this is like so funny. Like, I don't know, I've posted about this on Instagram before, but I've always thought about this. Like, when we are acting from a place of trying to appease others and trying to shape their opinion of us. So when we're moving from that place and we're like, okay, like, yeah, like, I'm gonna wear this today because I don't want people to think X, Y, and Z. And I don't want to do that because I don't want people to think this about me. Like, that is like insanity. And we all do it, so don't feel bad. I'm not like picking on you here, but like we all fucking do it to some extent. Like, it's literally embedded in our minds, and we're like conditioned to do this type of shit. So like, it's insanity by doing that. Why? Because we have no control over another person's mind. And so by adjusting ourselves and our lives and what we're doing and how we feel and what we're wearing and our actions and what we say because of how another person may think, is like insanity, right? And really, it's not even about what they think, it's about what you think they are going to think. So really, it's your mind, right? So you have like this imaginary audience, I call it, in your head that you're trying to please, that you're trying to like not offend, basically. But it's your own audience. And when you like finally realize that, it's like, whoa, and you stop trying to please others so much, or you stop worrying about other people's opinions of you, right? Like, because you realize that it's actually your opinion, because it's all happening up here. It's not even happening in reality. It's all based off what you think someone else may think of you, right? Like, it's insanity, right? And it does, like, we do have a reason for it though, right? Like, we were bullied or picked on, or someone told us something, someone asked us why we like to wear bright colors all the time, or why we have to say things like that, or why we have to act that way or do things like that. Like, it really is like there for a good reason. Like, someone said something or something happened to us that made us start doing this and like really considering what we're doing more. But like, this Libra full moon is really showing us where we seek external validation from others, where we seek approval from others, where we are possibly repressing ourselves to not start a conflict, or try to keep the peace in some way, try to please others in some way. And so it's like, where do we have these like shadow habits of doing this, right? You're welcome, Brian. Yes, it does get exhausting, right? And you have to get out of your mind. You cannot live in your mind like that. I get it. I'm a very mental person. I am a Libra, so I'm always considering, like, to a fault. Like, it gets very fun. Like, people don't realize, like, let me say something about Libras, okay? If you have your sun in Libra, it's not fucking pretty, right? Like, yes, Libra is a pretty sign. It's ruled by Venus. That's not what I mean. It's not fun, because the sun doesn't like to be in Libra. It's in fallen Libra because the sun is exalted in Aries. And so the sun in Libra, it's not like necessarily the worst place for it, but like Libra and Aquarius, the sun, it's like the worst space for Aquarius. So for Aquarius and Libra. So, or for the sun, sorry. But when you have your sun in Aquarius or Libra, the sun does not like being in either one of those signs. So if you are a Libra sun, though, just specifically speaking about Libra, because I already spoke about Aquarius like a ton just a couple months ago for Aquarius season, but if you are a Libra, it is, and I have like a whole highlight on my Instagram profile of almost every sign. I almost have every sign down on there, but I have one for Libra because the Libra part of me is a pain in the ass sometimes, man. Oh my gosh. So I have like a whole fucking highlight on Instagram because of all my Libra posts, all my Libra stories. And it is hard work because you have the sun, which is the embodiment of your consciousness, which is very self-oriented and assigned to do with other people and consideration and balance and trying to fucking weigh everything out and balance everything. And it's hard fucking work. So Aries season, if you're a Libra sun, can oftentimes feel very fucking good and liberating. It's like a really amazing break from all of this, right? Well, what is this person gonna think? And is that person happy? And it's like, and another really amazing Libra quote that you may have seen me talk about before is that when you avoid conflict or when you avoid conflict outside of you, you create conflict inside of you. So when you avoid conflict externally, you create conflict internally, right? Because when you avoid conflict outside of you, you're basically like, oh, I don't want to speak up for myself because it's going to start a shit show. So by not speaking up for yourself, you repress yourself, and then you split into these two different parts of you. One that is afraid to speak up and one that needs to speak up, right? And so it creates this war inside of yourself, right? And so Libra is it has its shadow sides, and some of those we can kind of see. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because the full moon is happening in Libra, and a full moon is bringing out the shadows, right? The habits, it's lighting up the darkness. But also, this full moon is squaring Pluto. No, I have not seen the movie Violet. What is it about? So Pluto is the underworld. It is the shadow. It is transformative. It is chaotic. It is all the things, right? And so it's very deep and hidden. And so there could be some intensity, some deep stuff coming up, some deep fears that we've been facing over the last week and may still continue to feel the energy of the next 2 weeks. And so, okay, I'll definitely have to check that out, Al. Thank you. So where do we need to let go of unhealthy attachment to opinions of others or external validations? Because when we are not okay internally, when we are not in our full embodiment, in our power, we start seeking that externally. We think that's going to fill the void, and it doesn't. So sorry, I'm just reading your guys' comments. So anyway, so this full moon can also bring up addressing fears. Like, it can also bring up fears that need to be addressed. So where we have fears in relationships or with relationship dynamics in our lives, with certain people in our lives, where we have a fear of embracing our truths, where we have a fear of conflict indecision. Indecision also kind of comes from a place of fear, people pleasing, or avoiding the truth, our own truth or someone else's truth, where we aren't embodying our own energy because we are out of alignment in some way. So when we bring people into our lives, or when we connect with people when we are not in an aligned place, those connections become chaotic, right? And so what happens is, a lot of the times we will have people in our lives that we cannot be our true selves around, or that we tiptoe around, or that we people please because we're scared to like actually say what we really think, or we're scared to act a certain way or be authentic to ourselves in some way around these people. And so because we're not being true to ourselves, we also have these people around us that we can't be our true selves around. And so really what it ends up coming back to is that if you can't be your true self around someone, if you can't, like, because a lot of the times, like, we hold back who we are around people because we think, oh, they won't like us or whatever. But really what's happening is, like, when we do that, people can't love us for who we really are. If you're not being you in a situation or with a person and fully embodying yourself, then others can't actually love you for you, right? So a lot of times we stay in situations, we stay in circumstances to avoid conflict, but then by doing that, we're basically staying in a situation that's out of alignment with us. That's not even like us, right? And so then we have this situation where we're with someone, or we're with people, or we have these people in our lives that don't even know the real us. So you're basically robbing them from being able to know who you really are and make the decision for themselves. Right? It's like the honeymoon phase. Like, you start dating and it's like you like put on this persona of this like perfect person, and like that you have your shit together, and then you guys finally like start dating or get married or whatever, and then it's like it all comes out, right? Like the honeymoon phase is over and like the real you comes out, and guess what? You don't put your laundry away. I don't either, so don't feel bad. But like you leave your laundry everywhere, or you don't do the dishes, or you're a slob, or you're a workaholic, or whatever. Like, you have all these things coming up, and people are like, who the fuck is this? Like, this is not the person that I signed up to be with, right? Like, that's what I'm talking about. Because we don't know how to just be like comfortable with ourselves, and we think we need relationships. And that's another thing with Libra. There can be like an energy of like codependency and codependency habits, and trying to be with people because we think we need them, because Libra does learn about themselves through others, but it has to be a balance between self and other. So another big thing, another question to ask yourself for this Libra full moon: how have we not been treating others the way that we want to be treated? Because that can be another one. With Aries energy, the shadow side of Aries can be like being very inconsiderate, being too self-absorbed, being too self-focused, like not having the peripheral vision to even see other people, you know what I mean, and what they got going on. And so so this could be another one for some people. Maybe not everybody, but for some people, maybe that's more you right now, right? Maybe you've been so focused on you've been so in your own lane, you've been so doing your own thing that like the people that really mean a lot to you in your lives, it's like you haven't even looked at their side. You know what I mean? Like, this is really about looking at the other side. Seeing a side that we're not seeing. That's what this Libra full moon is about. It's bringing out the shadows of the side that we're not seeing. I'm glad this all resonates so much for you guys. That's amazing. And if you're watching the replay, let me know down below too. This is resonating. So, how our relationships with others or our dynamics with others pointing back to ourselves? So how are our connections and relationships with others or those dynamics actually pointing back to something going on within us? That's another really big question to ask yourself, which also goes into the side that you're not seeing. And how others treat you is a reflection of how you treat yourself deep down. Like if you're and this isn't like every single time, like if you're out shopping and someone comes up and like like moves past you and like bumps you with their shoulder like rudely, like that's not what I mean. I mean, like, if you're always in a pattern with people that treat you like shit, like you're less than or disrespect you, then where are you doing that to yourself? Where are you becoming small? Right? Because if that's you, somewhere you're becoming small. And so, and then others see that, the people that want other people to be small around them because it makes them feel better. So they are attracted to that kind of thing because of their own shadow wounds. And when you're in alignment and when you're in goddess mode, like my new program that I mentioned in the beginning, like that's not even attractive to you anymore. When you're balanced, you know, with your own energies and when you're in alignment, that kind of shit is not attracted to you at all anymore. Like people acting out of their shadow and projecting their shit onto other people, like, is not even cute at all anymore. Because if you're in your power, you're not going to let that happen. You're not going to continue to go around somebody that thinks that they can treat you like that, that thinks that they can do that to you, that thinks that they can get over on you or that gets off on that kind of thing. Like, you're not. If you're in your power, you're not thinking about that. Like, that's not where you're going. You know, like it's not in alignment with you. So anyways, so there may be kind of like a hidden side, a fear or something like that boiling underneath the surface that needs to be faced with this full moon. So how can we make the drastic change? Because for some people, this could also be about making a really big decision or making like a really powerful or drastic change in their lives. So how can we make a change or the change needed to come back into harmony with ourselves and those around us? And for some people, it may not be about that. For some people, it actually may be about disconnecting from those that you're around, because maybe there can't be a harmony found. Maybe the harmony to be found is to disconnect. Maybe it's better for both parties if there is no more connection, right? So for some people it could be that. For other people there could be a middle ground found, but there may be certain shadow traits or things that need to be faced. So where have there been two extremes in your life that need to be mediated or balanced out? Right? So if you're having two different extremes, either in yourself or in your life, or if there's two different, you know, polarities going on in your life right now, where does this need to be mediated? Where do you need to balance this out? Where have you been avoiding the deepest truth within yourself or with others or about others? And where can you find beauty and peace through the chaos? Can you look your fears and truths in the face and see the beauty in them. So, I also wrote down the moon is reflecting back to the sun where we haven't seen all sides of something, where there may be hidden fears, hidden compromises, and behaviors that are seeking external peace rather than embodying who we really are at the deepest levels, or where we have not been seeing others' perspectives and have been too self-focused or arrogant. And then I'm also going to read you my post, some more about my post the other day. So, yes, can you find beauty in the chaos? Can you find beauty in the conflict? That's where the challenge is. Because once you can find beauty in it, like Libra is about finding beauty. Libra is about doing things in a classy way. It's about being classy. So wherever you're in your life, have you maybe not been classy about something? But when you can find beauty in the opposites and in the polarity of it all, that's when things really fucking shift. Yes, alchemy. So, this is what I posted the other day. Our relationships truly do mirror so much of our own relationships with ourselves. If we allow disrespect from others, it's very likely that we are disrespecting ourselves as well, not taking ourselves seriously or thinking very small of ourselves. Even continuing to be in the energy of someone that is disrespectful to you is continuing to simultaneously disrespect yourself and your boundaries by staying in that situation. When we can look at how we allow others to treat us, it can give us a peek at how we may also be treating ourselves in some manner. Someone in their power would not allow or be around that energy to begin with. Someone that truly has a good relationship with themselves doesn't play in the sandbox with people that are not emotionally evolved and feel so threatened by others. This is about allowing how we continue to allow others to treat us, not just a one-time thing, but a continual pattern. Because there can still be times and instances where you are disrespected even when you are in your power, or even when you have a good and solid relationship with yourself, but you know how to handle it and it definitely won't happen again. Oftentimes, when we upgrade in our lives and our consciousness expands, we start to find that some of the relationships in our lives are no longer a match to the person we are becoming. They're a match to the person that we were before. The true test is between continuing to evolve, set new boundaries, and rearrange your relationship, or limit your growth to appease and not trigger those around you who aren't a match to it. For every new upgrade comes with new fears and issues that need to be faced to continue. It's not always easy, but when you are committed to your evolution, you don't need to downgrade to make others more comfortable. In fact, if the relationships in your life do not like your evolution, what does that say in the first place? Like, if people in your life are not supportive of your growth and your evolution, what does that even say? Like, why? Like, what is the point in that kind of relationship? Like, I'm just wondering. And a lot of times that's why we stick around, and that why we please and why we stay stagnant and all of that, because we're like, oh, well, I'm growing, but if the other person sees it, then like maybe they'll leave, or maybe they won't like me anymore, or whatever. It's like, okay, so dim yourself down so they will be with you, because they can only handle you when you're dimmed down. That's kind of messed up, and already should tell you a lot, don't you think? guys are funny. So, if they are that threatened by your evolution, then they are lacking in their own emotional evolution. Everything's a mirror, right? It really is, in some way, shape, or form. It can be difficult to see at times, but it really is. So, it can be difficult, but the payoff is worth it. Every evolution also comes with making space. Things that you were a match to before no longer make sense. So those are some things that I wanted to talk about with this Libra full moon and everything that's, you know, that it may be bringing up, just some things that came through that I thought may come up for some people. So hopefully a lot of that resonates with some of you guys, or gave you guys a little bit more of an idea of this full moon energy and what the vibe is of it. So it definitely, it's like, okay, where do you, this is bringing a spotlight on our relationships, on our connections, and our dynamics within those connections. Like, how are we connecting with other people? How are we letting other people treat us? What kind of relationships do we have in our lives? But also, where can we keep the peace amongst chaos? Like, it doesn't mean that you have to go getting angry or acting like a child about it. Like, you can still be peaceful. You can still be, like, you can still practice being classy while maybe, you know, disconnecting from certain situations or certain relationships, you know what I mean? It's like, and so for some people, it also may be, like I said, where can you find the peace within the chaos? Where can you see the other side of a situation? You know, it's going to be different for different ones of you. Like I said, some of you, it may be that you've been kind of arrogant. Maybe you need to open up to the other person's side. For others of you, it could be that maybe you've been like trying to keep the peace and not really speaking your truth. Or maybe maybe you need to open up. Maybe you need to speak your truth, you know? So it just depends. So anyways, alrighty, so we are gonna go over how this could affect each sign, what area of life you may see this coming in at. And I just want to say again, for those of you that missed the beginning, or if you missed the beginning, I announced my newest program in the beginning of this live. It's super fucking magical and is super fucking powerful, so you do not want to miss the announcement. I've also announced it on Instagram. I sent out an email to those that are subscribed to my website. And I need to post it on Facebook as well. But the price for it right now will be raising next week. So if you are interested in stepping into your power, stepping into your feminine energy, like healing and embracing and liberating your feminine and working with feminine energetics, stepping into your inner fucking goddess, then this is the program for you. So, and like I said, I will have it linked below, but it's on my website under the programs tab if anyone is interested and would like to go check it out. So, okay, so starting with Libra, since the full moon is in Libra. So if you're a Libra rising, this full moon is in your first house. So hold on, let me turn on this light really quick because it's starting to get dark out. Turn on my little background light. Okay. like that lighting does not look very good for some reason. Okay. Starting with Libra. So if you are a Libra rising, this full moon is happening in your first house. So it can be pretty fucking powerful if you're a Libra rising. You could definitely be feeling more emotional. There could be a lot of intensity like this past week and this weekend, and over the next couple of weeks there could be a major change that, you know, either you've already been experiencing or that you're about to go through. It can be a very transformative time, or maybe some things from the past that have been unseen or buried or like getting dug up, you know, or where there may be some big changes or transformations happening within your family, or where you're seeing a different side of yourself recently, where you're seeing where you need to maybe express certain things that have been hidden for a little while. You know, it's like there's a lot of unearthing here. There's a lot coming to the surface for Libra risings, and it really deals with yourself, your identity, who you are, different parts of yourself, and also how to express those different parts of yourself with others and in relationships, etc. So that is what I'm seeing for Libra risings. Scorpio risings, this full moon is happening in your 12th house of things that are hidden. And so, hi Jennifer. Oh yeah, it's gonna be rough, but it should start waning now. So it should get a little bit better. But if you're a Scorpio rising, the full moon's happening in your 12th house. And so this is the house of like secrets and things that are hidden, your subconscious, like patterns, old cycles, old behaviors, things like that. So if you're a Scorpio rising, this full moon could really be unearthing a lot of things. This could also be unearthing a lot of things to do with, you know, a relationship, or to do with behind the scene things with relationships, like maybe doing things in relationships like that are a little bit different, or somehow like sneaky or hidden, or maybe you're like wanting to, I mean, it could even just be like maybe you're wanting to go on a retreat or a vacation with somebody that you're in a relationship with. Or it could be subconscious habits and behaviors coming up to do with relationships, like codependency or, you know, self-sabotaging kind of behaviors coming up with relationships. And so that could be it as well. But so yeah, and it's squaring Pluto in your third. So where have you been kind of maybe hiding, expressing something, or where is there something deep that's been kind of going on underneath the surface, like some skeletons in the closet or something that need to come out, that you need to address, or facing some kind of fear, unearthing something and expressing it in some way. It's like really triggering possibly a pretty big change in your day-to-day life, or your environment, or your town, your neighborhood, siblings, family, or with how you express yourself in some way. And so, but yeah, for Scorpio risings, you could be feeling a little bit more introverted with this full moon. It's kind of like a introverted time for you, with it happening in your 12th and really going through, you know, the hidden parts of your life and who you are and what you've been avoiding, you know, or what you've maybe been putting off, like subconsciously or something like that. So that's what I'm really seeing for Scorpio risings, like habits and old behaviors or cycles or patterns, or like what needs to be healed in regards to relationships, things like that. So moving on to Sagittarius. So for Sagittarius, if you're a Sagittarius rising, this full moon is happening in your 11th house. And so this can really bring up a lot to do with your social life and your place in the world. Oh, thank you. Phoenix, I think is how you say that. Thank you so much. So if you are dealing with a lot of social situations with this full moon, this definitely could be something that you're experiencing. Like if you're a Sag rising, there could be a lot of balancing, mediating, or bringing people together in some way with this full moon, or there could be a lot exposed about friends, connections, acquaintances, relationships with different people, or commitments that you have with different friend groups, or something like that could be coming up. And this could also be triggering something to do with a major change or transformation, or something deep rooted in terms of your worth, your value, your money, your resources. Like something deep could be coming up here with those types of things as well, to do with maybe friends, connections, networking, all of the things. Like maybe you're wanting to, maybe, with the Sun in Aries the last several weeks, maybe you've been working on something that you're passionate about, or you've been really focused on your hobbies and what brings you joy and where you like to have fun, and your energy and what feels good. And now it's like, how can you bring that to the world, or how can you bring other people together, or how can you like put that out there, you know what I mean? So that is what I'm seeing for Sagittarius. So for Capricorn risings, this full moon is happening in your 10th house of career, your public image, your reputation, where you have impact and leverage and power in the world and your public life, and where you're going, like really like your long-term goals and where you're going in life, what you want to do in life, like all of the big picture futuristic types of things, okay, for Capricorn. So this full moon in Libra is squaring Pluto in your sign, and so this could really be bringing up like power dynamics and where you may need to make a change, or where you may need to address some of your own shadow traits if you want to get into alignment or into a balance within your career. This could also be bringing up business partnerships or authority figures, or legal situations or contracts or something like that within your career, or for your future, or with your future goals, or something along those lines. So with the full moon in your 10th, though, this is definitely bringing something to light, or showing you something in terms of your career to bring you back into balance. Maybe there's a side that you haven't been wanting to see or face, or maybe there is a relationship within your career that you need to look at. Like you've been really focused on your personal life and what's going on behind the scenes for like the last several weeks, with the sun moving through your 4th house. And so with this full moon in your 10th house, it's kind of like a time where you're where you're looking at like, how can I reach more people or bring more people together, or how can I create an impact, or what's going on like with my reputation, my career, my outward goals, my long-term goals, like things like this. So anyways, that's what I'm seeing for Capricorn. Let me fix this light really quick. Okay. So moving on to Aquarius risings. Aquarius risings, this full moon is happening in your 9th house of travel, your beliefs, education, your outlook, your faith. Like what gives you meaning and purpose in life is the 9th house, right? It's where you really find your belief systems in life. What really gets you through life? What do you want to study in life? What do you want to learn in life? Like what gives you a sense of fulfillment, meaning, and purpose? Like you're like you are on the right path, or like you're meant to do something bigger, or like things feel aligned spiritually or philosophically in your life, like all of these things. So this full moon is really bringing these things up here. And so if you're an Aquarius rising with Libra in the 9th, this could also be legalities, law, contracts, like things like that could be coming up as well. But this could be like coming back into balance with your belief systems, or where maybe there's been some kind of imbalance between your belief systems versus other people's belief systems, or maybe you're seeing a different side to a belief system that you've had, or an outlook that you've had, or maybe there's political things coming up that you're starting to like see and from a different angle now, because you know, Libra, like I said, it really brings up the side that we're not seeing. And so it's like maybe you're being kind of triggered to find a middle ground here, you know, in terms of your beliefs and you know, peacemaking and all of that. Or maybe it's, you know, maybe you are listening to what others have to say more, or maybe there's something where you that you need to address in terms of your beliefs and where you're going and what you feel is right, or something like that. So that's basically what I see for Aquarius risings. It definitely deals with like a lot of belief systems, possible like, you know, the legal system, politics, things like that. So debates maybe as well, with Libra in the 9th. So anyways, moving on to Pisces risings. For Pisces risings, this full moon is happening in your 8th house of investments, money, other people's money, finances, maybe even like money that's owed to you or money that you owe to other people, taxes, paying your debt off, you know, like bankruptcy, like anything that's like where you owe money or money is owed to you, right? Or even like, you know, wealth in general, business in general, exchange of money in general, other people's money and contracts and agreements and, you know, all of those types of things. And so these are really big things that you could see coming up in your life, or really big themes that you could see coming up in your life. And that it could be also creating a massive shift in the company that you keep, or the people that you network with, or the friends or the acquaintances that you hang out with if you're a Pisces rising, or the kind of job that you want to do in the world, or the kind of people that you want to associate with, or your view of success or your goals. You know, all of these things could be somehow affecting, you know, this, or somehow related to this in some way. And so yeah, this could also be your partner's finances. You know, maybe something is revealed, or there's more of a focus coming up on your significant other's money, or, you know, if you guys are married, maybe your shared or joint finances. You know what I mean? So that's basically what I see for Pisces rising. It's a lot of financial stuff. So anyways, thank you, Robin. Do you mean like my background, or thank you, Tay. Tay and Robin are in my newest program. I have 20 goddesses in there so far. I cannot believe it. Okay, so moving on to Aries. So for Aries, this full moon is happening in your 7th house, your opposite sign. So this is very much about relationships. It's like double relationships, because Libra is about relationships and the 7th house is about relationships. Oh, thank you, Robin. I appreciate it. So I'm glad it resonated, Elena. Thank you. So if you're an Aries rising, this is definitely all about other people. You could have been noticing recently that there's just been a lot of focus on other people and finding a balance and finding harmony and compromise and, you know, finding middle ground and keeping the peace, and, you know, or maybe there's people in your life that are being more like that. But either way, if you're an Aries rising, this full moon is really bringing up something. It's bringing up another side in your relationships that maybe you haven't quite been seeing, right? And maybe, or there may be a compromise or a middle ground that needs to be found, or a meeting in the middle that needs to be found here, you know? And so you're really seeing like something from another side, and maybe seeing yourself in a different way through a relationship as well. That could be it. Now, this could also be affecting your career, your long-term goals, your future, your reputation, like, the impact that you want to make in the world, and where you're going in the world, and where you're going long term, and all of that. So those are some other things that you could be seeing coming up with this full moon. So that is what I see for Aries rising. So for Taurus risings, this full moon is happening in your 6th house of your work, day-to-day routines, what you do on a day-to-day basis, any kind of maintenance in your life, like anything that you have to keep up with on a day-to-day level, this full moon's bringing up. So where have you been out of balance with your routines, or with reality, or with your normal day-to-day life? Like you've just been doing you, and maybe like doing your own thing, like being the lone wolf, or maybe even escaping some of your like responsibilities, or escaping some of your commitments on a day-to-day basis, and this full moon's coming around like, hey, you need to like come back into balance with this, or you need to come back into alignment with this. So this could also be addressing maybe like a conflict within your job, or within your work, or with employees, or with coworkers, or something like that as well. So, and then also it could even be addressing like a political conflict, or a conflict of beliefs, or some intensity coming up regarding the rules and regulations of like the job that you have, or the beliefs of the company that you work for, or something like that. These are just like examples, but either way, it could involve like travel, belief systems, learning, seeing something from a higher perspective. And like this situation could really be maybe changing or challenging the way that you believe about something in some way. So yeah, it's basically about, though, coming back into balance in your day-to-day life, in your job, and maybe even with the people in your day-to-day life. So moving on to Gemini. So for Gemini risings, this full moon is happening in your 5th house of love, joy, romance, sex, children, fertility, where you find pleasure in your life, right? Where you find things that feel good, that feel creative, that make your heart open, like the things that your heart loves to do. This can also be romance and dating and things like that. So with this Libra full moon here, it can really bring up beauty and, finding a equilibrium in terms of the things that you love and your relationships. I really feel like if you're a Gemini rising, this is really bringing up relationships with other people, your love life, how you flirt. Like this would be a great time to go out on a date, or do something fun, and get back into that vibe, get back into that, balanced energy that feels good, and all of that. But with the full moon squaring Pluto in your 8th, there could be some fear around money, scarcity, wealth, business, investments, shared finances. It's like you want to have fun, and you want to do your thing, and you're seeing where you need to come back into balance with these things that are really like beautiful and classy and fun and like pleasurable, whether it be a relationship, or whether it be a hobby, or something that you love to do, or whatever the case may be. But with the Pluto square coming from your 8th, it's kind of like, oh, well, I could do that if I had like, if my credit was right, or if I didn't have this debt, or whatever. And so I think this is really about facing that, like facing these fears of like lack and scarcity, and maybe even survival, like to come back into balance with what you love in your life and what feels good to you, and find that equilibrium again, like with your joy and pleasure. So that's what I see for Gemini. Moving on to Cancer rising. So for Cancer risings, this full moon is happening in your 4th house of home, family, your personal life, what's going on behind the scenes, your emotional foundation, your past, your parents, your childhood, like where you feel nostalgic, like lots of things from the past are coming up here for Cancer risings for this full moon. So this is about coming into balance with maybe your family, with maybe the people that you live with, your living situation. This could be, you know, contracts, commitments, legal agreements within those things as well, or to do with a home, or to do with a house or real estate or something like that. This full moon is really bringing up a lot, you know, like a lot of things that are being revealed in terms of your home life, your family, your parents, where you come from, right? Your roots, basically. You've been really focused on career and like really self-focused on like your goals and where you're going in life and what you want to do. But this Libra full moon is like, okay, where have you maybe been neglecting your family, or where have you been neglecting this other side, or where do you need to find a middle ground here, or where do you need to consider your family's side of the situation, or where do you need to make peace, you know, with your past or your family or something like that. Or, you know, it could be showing you where you may be doing too much people pleasing, or like looking for validation, or trying to avoid conflict within your family and home life. And then also with the square to Pluto in the 7th house, it could also be bringing up a change within your relationships, your marriage, your partnerships, or putting some intensity or bringing up some triggers there, or possibly pushing you to make some kind of change or something, or your partner may be feeling like they need to make some kind of change in their lives. So that's what I'm seeing for Cancer risings. Woo! Let me breathe for a minute. It's a lot. It's like a lot doing these like back to back to back like this, man. Like, I don't think people realize. I don't know how people do this every single week. Like, there is no way in hell. Oh my gosh. There's no way. Let me hit my vape really quick. Haven't been vaping as much. That's been good. So, okay. So, Leo risings, my fellow darling Leo risings. So, this full moon for Leos is happening in the 3rd house, which is kind of a weird place. It's not bad or anything. It's just like a lot of different random things, like your neighborhood, your environment, the people, places, and things. I always kind of say that you hang around on like a day-to-day basis, like what's going on in your environment, what's going on, you know, in your immediate surroundings, you know, and also it's how are you perceiving things, and what's your perspective on things. And so this could be a lot about coming back into a balance with your environment, like where have you maybe been too focused like on your future or on your path, or, you know, like learning new things and these big picture like visions and beliefs and all of that. And where do you need to like come back down a little bit, like because maybe there's a few things that need to be like hashed out within your day-to-day life. Like maybe you need to find a balance or like a middle ground, or integrate something in your day-to-day reality or your day-to-day experiences, you know. This can also deal with like siblings, cousins, neighbors, transportation, short travel. So those are some other things that you could see being brought up if you're Leo rising. And it's also involving Pluto. It's the square to Pluto, which is in your 6th house of day-to-day work, habits, routines. You know, so you could also notice those themes coming up with this full moon, or some kind of change or deep shift happening in those areas, you know, as well. So, but that's basically it for Leo risings. I know it's kind of, it's a little hard when it's the 3rd house, because it's like just so many different fucking things. Like with the other houses, you can usually like guess pretty well like what's happening. With the 3rd house, it's like it could be any one of these like 20 things. So pick one and let me know. So moving on to Virgo, last but not least, Virgo risings. So if you're a Virgo rising, this full moon for you is happening in your second house. So this is really about possibly revealing some things with money, or maybe a side that wasn't seen or hasn't been seen in terms of your money, your finances, worth, value, your priorities. It's like, where do you need to come back in balance with these things? And so there could be something that's either, you know, trying to be mended in terms of money, income, or something like that, like cost, expenses, or, you know, a lot of the times, like the moon in Libra or Libra's second house for Virgos, it's like money that you share with other people, or like money that you have with other people, or money that goes to other people. A lot of Virgo risings have kind of like an equal amount of money going in or out. Like they get money and then they spend it, you know, like, or give it away to someone or buy someone something with it. Like, so this full moon could be kind of bringing that up. And it's also squaring Pluto in your 5th house of children and, like, you know, hobbies and what you like to do for fun and relationships and joy and all of that. So anyway, so with the full moon happening in the 2nd house and then squaring Pluto in your 5th, could be like finances or, you know, resources coming up in terms of children or in terms of relationships in some way for Virgos, or just money and priorities in general, or something coming up that you hadn't really considered or seen before, or where you need to almost like mend something financially as well. That could be it as well. So that's what I'm seeing for Virgos, and that concludes all 12 signs. Alrighty. So again, just saying, if you missed the beginning where I made the official announcement to my next program, where the price will be going up next week, then if you missed that, definitely go check it out. Like I said, I will be, yes, it definitely can be intense. This full moon can definitely be intense, but like I said, I will be posting the link below, and I've been sharing the link on socials and through my emailing list. So if you're interested, and like I said, you can always just go to my website, which is linked below, and go to the programs tab, and it's there. It's called Goddess Mode, and I am so fucking excited. I've been working on this for months, and it's like, it's came through me. Like the program literally came through me and was also what I was experiencing for months. So it's just so powerful, and I've never channeled a program like this before. Like I have channeled programs before, but like this was 10 times more intense. Like this was like, holy shit. So anyways, thank you guys for hanging out with me for this live and for this Libra full moon. Hopefully it was helpful. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I really wanted to start going live more, and so I do plan on doing this more often. So anyways, I will let you guys go. I hope you have a wonderful night and a wonderful weekend. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you for your support. Thank you for watching my videos. I truly, truly, truly appreciate you, and I will see you guys. And I actually have merch. It's linked down below. It's zodiac sign merch. But I will see you guys in my other videos, and